Recently, NASA released a series of captivating images of Saturn that left scientists and enthusiasts alike in a state of bewilderment. What initially appeared to be another routine observation of the majestic planet quickly transformed into a source of concern and unease. The images, beaming back from the Cassini spacecraft, showcased Saturn's iconic rings and swirling storms, but amid this celestial beauty lay a series of strange formations that defied explanation, as the team at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory gathered to analyze the data. The atmosphere in the control room turned electric with anticipation. Dr. Sarah Chen, the mission's lead astrophysicist, scrutinized the visuals with a mix of fascination and dread. "Look at this," she said, pointing to an anomaly, an irregular shape that seemed to pulse with an unusual glow. "This doesn't fit any patterns we've seen before." Her voice resonated with the gravity of the moment. The team leaned in closer, their eyes glued to the screen. It was clear that something was amiss. The irregularities formed intricate patterns that seemed almost deliberate, suggesting a complexity that challenged their understanding of the gas giant. Each team member grappled with their own thoughts and anxieties, leading to a collective atmosphere charged with uncertainty. As the team prepared to dive deeper into the enigma of Saturn, they felt an unsettling awareness that they were engaging with something beyond their comprehension. The captivating beauty of the planet had morphed into a haunting puzzle, and they could not shake the feeling that they were being observed, not just by the universe, but by something lurking within the depths of Saturn itself. The question hung in the air like a dark cloud. As more data was collected, the mystery deepened. Each new observation heightened the team's anxiety, suggesting that something was hidden just beyond their reach. The sensation that they were on the brink of uncovering a profound secret grew stronger with every transmission. What had they truly witnessed on Saturn? And what could it mean for humanity's understanding of life beyond Earth? The tension escalated within the lab as discussions turned to theories. Was it an atmospheric phenomenon, or was something more sinister at play? Sarah's mind raced with possibilities, but the fear of the unknown loomed larger. The once familiar images of Saturn now held an ominous weight, and the signals continued to pulse a haunting echo of the mysteries that lay ahead. The team could not shake the feeling that they were standing at the precipice of a revelation that could challenge everything they believed about the cosmos, deepening the world in characters 300 words. At the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the team was comprised of brilliant minds united by their passion for space exploration. Dr. Sarah Chen, the mission's lead astrophysicist, had dedicated her life to unraveling the mysteries of the universe. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, she was both a visionary and a pragmatist, carefully balancing the thrill of discovery with the weight of responsibility. Next to her was Dr. Felix Ramirez, a seasoned planetary geologist with a wealth of experience. Known for his calm demeanor, Felix had studied numerous celestial bodies, yet the anomalies in the Saturn images stirred something deep within him. He felt an unease growing, a sense that this mission might be unlike any he had previously encountered. The irregular formations and strange signals had unsettled his scientific instincts. Mia Tran, a bright and ambitious engineer, was another vital member of the team. Having always looked up to the stars with wonder, she believed deeply in the power of discovery. Yet, as the signals intensified and the anomalies multiplied, Mia felt a creeping dread. The sense that they were not alone in their exploration haunted her thoughts. As they worked tirelessly to decode the mysteries of Saturn, subtle tensions began to surface. The camaraderie that had defined their collaboration started to wane, giving way to suspicion and fear. Each team member grappled with their own thoughts and anxieties, leading to a collective atmosphere charged with uncertainty. As the team prepared to dive deeper into the enigma of Saturn, they felt an unsettling awareness that they were engaging with something beyond their comprehension. The captivating beauty of the planet had morphed into a haunting puzzle, and they could not shake the feeling that they were being observed, not just by the universe, but by something lurking within the depths of Saturn itself. "Everyone, I believe I've decoded part of the signal," Sarah announced, her voice steady, despite the racing of her heart. The room fell silent, all eyes fixed on her. "It appears to follow a pattern that resembles a mathematical sequence, possibly indicating an intelligent source." Felix crossed his arms, skepticism etched on his face. "We've gone over this. What if it's just electromagnetic interference or some natural phenomenon we don't understand yet?" Before Sarah could respond, Mia interjected, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "But what if it's not? What if it's a message? We could be on the verge of discovering something monumental." Her enthusiasm was palpable, the fire of ambition igniting her words. As the debate intensified, the lights in the lab flickered, unsettling the team. Suddenly, a deafening noise erupted from the speakers, drowning out their voices. It was a cacophony of dissonant frequencies that reverberated through the room, vibrating in their bones. The sound felt alive, as if Saturn itself was responding to their discussions. In a moment of sheer panic, the room plunged into darkness as the power surged and flickered. The monitors went black, and the chaos escalated. Shadows appeared to dance against the walls, and whispers echoed in the air, a haunting chorus that seemed to emanate from the depths of the unknown. "Get it together," Sarah shouted, trying to maintain control. "We need to restore power." A few team members scrambled to reboot the systems, but the weight of the atmosphere grew heavier. The whispers morphed into a rhythmic pulse, matching the signals they had been studying. It was as if the very essence of Saturn was reaching out to them, and in that moment, they realized they were not just observers, they were participants in something far greater than themselves. As the lights flickered back on, the team stared in disbelief at the monitors, which now displayed a complex pattern of light and sound, a visual representation of the signals. They were no longer merely analyzing data. They were standing on the precipice of a groundbreaking discovery, one that would change their understanding of the universe forever. But the question remained, what would be the cost of uncovering the truth? Consequences and reactions, 300 words. The aftermath of the turning point left the team in disarray. The haunting experience with the signals had shaken their resolve, and the atmosphere in the lab shifted dramatically. The once eager scientists now bore the weight of a shared trauma, their excitement overshadowed by a creeping sense of dread. Sarah felt the burden of leadership heavier than ever. "We need to regroup and process what just happened," she said, her voice wavering. The team gathered around, eyes filled with a mix of fear and curiosity. Felix, still skeptical, spoke up. "We need to be cautious. This could be a trap or a warning. We don't know what we're dealing with." Mia, however, was undeterred. "But what if it's an opportunity? We can't turn our backs on this. We have to dig deeper." Her determination ignited a spark in the group, prompting a heated debate about their next steps. As the team divided into factions, Sarah found herself caught in the crossfire. Some members were eager to push forward, driven by the thrill of discovery, while others urged caution, fearing the unknown consequences of their actions. The tension reached a boiling point when Mia proposed a direct attempt to communicate with whatever was sending the signals. "Are you out of your mind?" Felix exclaimed, his voice filled with disbelief. "We don't even know what we're dealing with." Yet, as the conversation unfolded, it became clear that the consequences of their actions would reverberate far beyond their understanding. Each choice they made would lead them further into the depths of Saturn's mysteries, and the stakes had never been higher. The shadows of their fears loomed large, and the team knew that whatever lay ahead could change everything they believed about the universe and themselves. In the wake of the turmoil that had gripped the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the team found themselves at a crossroads. The debates had turned into arguments, and the fear of the unknown had splintered their unity. Sarah realized that in order to move forward, she needed to restore a sense of purpose and collaboration among her colleagues. Taking a deep breath, she called an emergency meeting. "Listen, everyone," she began, her voice steady yet compassionate. "We've been through a lot together, and I know tensions are high. But instead of letting fear divide us, we must come together. We need to focus on what brought us here in the first place, the pursuit of knowledge." As the days passed, the atmosphere within the Jet Propulsion Laboratory became increasingly charged with tension. Dr. Sarah Chen, the mission's lead astrophysicist, found herself wrestling with a growing sense of dread. The strange formations observed in the Saturn images were not mere anomalies. They felt like harbingers of something far more unsettling. The inexplicable signals intensified, oscillating between rhythmic pulses and dissonant echoes, creating an auditory landscape that was both captivating and terrifying. One fateful evening, while reviewing the data late into the night, Sarah noticed a pattern emerging from the signals, a sequence that seemed almost deliberate. "Felix, come look at this," she called out, her voice a mix of excitement and apprehension. Felix approached, squinting at the monitor. "What is it?" he asked, intrigued. "Listen," Sarah said, replaying the recordings. "These frequencies, they follow a mathematical sequence. It's as if something is trying to communicate." Felix's eyes widened. "If that's true, then we might be dealing with something intelligent, or at least something that possesses a level of complexity we didn't anticipate." The implications hung heavily in the air. The team was no longer just observing Saturn. They were potentially on the brink of contact with an unknown force. As they delved deeper into the analysis, the sense of foreboding grew. The signals felt like a warning, echoing through the laboratory, stirring up fears of what might be lurking in Saturn's depths. The crew's dynamic began to shift. Mia Tran, the ambitious engineer, became increasingly obsessed with the idea of uncovering the truth, pushing the limits of their equipment and protocols. Meanwhile, Felix's skepticism began to surface. He argued that they might be reading too much into the signals, that natural phenomena could explain the anomalies. This division within the team created friction, as paranoia began to seep into their conversations. As the tension escalated, Sarah organized an emergency meeting to address the growing concerns. "We need to be united in our approach to this," she urged, her voice steady but firm. "If we are indeed dealing with an intelligent presence, we must proceed with caution. We cannot let fear dictate our actions." However, her words fell on mixed reactions. Some team members nodded in agreement, while others exchanged wary glances, questioning their commitment to the mission. With each passing moment, it became clear that the conflict was not only with Saturn's mysteries, but also within the team itself. Subplots and complexities, 300 words. Within the broader narrative of Saturn's enigma lay several intricate subplots that intertwined with the main conflict. The first revolved around Sarah's internal struggle. As the lead astrophysicist, she felt the immense pressure of her role, knowing that every decision could have far-reaching consequences. Her ambition to make a groundbreaking discovery began to clash with her growing instincts for caution. Simultaneously, Felix grappled with his skepticism. His years of experience led him to trust in the scientific method, yet the anomalies challenged his understanding of planetary science. As he watched the team become increasingly consumed by fear and obsession, he questioned whether they were chasing a ghost. This internal conflict began to manifest in his interactions with Sarah, leading to tension between them. Mia's subplot revolved around her ambition and desire for recognition. As she pushed the boundaries of their research, she became more isolated, fixated on the possibility of making history. Her determination led her to work late nights in the lab, where she began to experience strange occurrences, glimpses of shadows flitting across the walls, and the sensation of being watched. These experiences fueled her obsession, driving a wedge between her and the rest of the team. As the crew navigated the complexities of their emotions and relationships, the external threat posed by the mysterious signals loomed larger. Each subplot added layers to the team's dynamic, creating a rich tapestry of conflict that would ultimately shape their fate. As they ventured deeper into the unknown mysteries of Saturn, the turning point came on a stormy night at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The atmosphere crackled with tension as Sarah and her team gathered to review the latest data. The strange signals from Saturn had intensified, and the air was thick with anticipation and unease. As Sarah prepared to present their findings, she sensed the weight of her team's collective anxiety resting on her shoulders. Embarking on a journey that could lead to unimaginable discoveries, the moment of truth arrived as the team held their breath, their eyes glued to the monitors. Sarah's fingers hovered over the control panel as she prepared to send their carefully crafted response back to Saturn. The lab was charged with anticipation, the atmosphere thick with the weight of their collective hopes and fears. "On my mark," she said, her heart racing. Mia, eager for action, chimed in. "I can enhance our signal processing algorithms. If we can refine our approach, we might uncover more about the patterns." With renewed determination, the team divided tasks, each member taking ownership of a specific aspect of the analysis. Sarah felt a wave of relief wash over her as they shifted from fear to focus. They were no longer just scientists. They were explorers united by a common goal. As they worked late into the nights, the atmosphere began to change. Laughter returned, and camaraderie blossomed as they shared ideas and insights. The energy in the lab shifted from one of dread to one of excitement. Sarah realized that overcoming their internal struggles was just as crucial as deciphering the signals from Saturn. Through this process, the team grew closer, and their individual strengths began to shine. Felix's skepticism transformed into a cautious optimism, while Mia's enthusiasm inspired others. Together, they learned to embrace uncertainty as a part of their journey, the realization that they were in this together, facing the unknown, not as isolated individuals, but as a cohesive unit, brought a sense of empowerment. They were ready to confront whatever awaited them on Saturn, united in their quest for understanding, preparation for the climax for 100 words. With a renewed sense of purpose, the team at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory prepared for their most critical phase of analysis. They had decided to approach the signals from Saturn with a fresh perspective, utilizing the latest advances in signal processing and data analysis. The tension from earlier had transformed into a palpable excitement, and the lab buzzed with energy as they gathered to review their findings. Sarah stood at the front of the room, flanked by screens displaying the intricate patterns of the signals. "Okay, everyone, let's focus on what we've discovered so far," she said, gesturing to the visuals. "We've identified a sequence that appears to repeat at regular intervals. If we can isolate these patterns, we might be able to decode the message." Felix, now more engaged, began to outline the mathematical principles behind their findings. Mia, eager for action, chimed in. "I can enhance our signal processing algorithms. If we can refine our approach, we might uncover more about the patterns." With renewed determination, the team divided tasks, each member taking ownership of a specific aspect of the analysis. Sarah felt a wave of relief wash over her as they shifted from fear to focus. They were no longer just scientists. They were explorers united by a common goal. As they worked late into the nights, the atmosphere began to change. They re-examined the data, dissecting the signals with newfound clarity. As they delved deeper, the complexity of the patterns began to reveal themselves, hinting at a structure that was both intriguing and perplexing. As the hours passed, the atmosphere shifted from analytical rigor to a sense of anticipation. They could feel that they were on the cusp of a breakthrough. The lights in the lab glowed warmly against the backdrop of the cold unknown outside. Then, Just as they were about to finalize their analysis, another surge of signals erupted from the monitors. The cacophony returned, but this time it was different, more urgent, more insistent. They exchanged glances filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Is this a response?" Felix asked, his eyes wide. "Have we triggered something?" Sarah's heart raced as she processed the implications. "We have to try to respond. We need to show that we're here to communicate, not to invade." With that, they prepared to send a carefully crafted signal back to Saturn, hoping to establish a dialogue with whatever or whoever was sending the frequencies. This was it, a leap into the unknown, a moment that could redefine their understanding of life beyond Earth. The moment of truth loomed on the horizon, and as they hit the send button, they realized they were not just transmitting data, they were reaching out across the cosmos. Embarking on a journey that could lead to unimaginable discoveries, the moment of truth arrived as the team held their breath, their eyes glued to the monitors. Sarah's fingers hovered over the control panel as she prepared to send their carefully crafted response back to Saturn. The lab was charged with anticipation, the atmosphere thick with the weight of their collective hopes and fears. "On my mark," she said, her heart racing. 3, 2, 1. Send. With a click, the signal burst forth into the ether, a beacon of human curiosity, piercing the vastness of space. As they waited for a response, an eerie silence enveloped the room. Moments felt like hours, tension palpable as they monitored the frequencies. Suddenly, the monitors flickered to life, the readings spiking with intensity. A series of complex waveforms erupted, reverberating through the lab. The signals transformed into a symphony of sound that resonated deep within their chests. It was unlike anything they had encountered before, a harmonious blend of frequencies that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly rhythm. "Do you hear that?" Mia whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. The sounds were beautiful, yet haunting, as if Saturn itself was singing back to them. Sarah's heart soared as she began to decipher the patterns, recognizing a sequence that mirrored their own signal. "It's responding. It's trying to communicate with us." But just as quickly as the excitement surged, a chilling realization set in. The signals began to warp, shifting from harmonious to chaotic, the once melodic tones spiraling into a dissonant cacophony. The atmosphere in the lab turned electric, and alarms blared as the monitors displayed erratic readings. "What's happening?" Felix shouted, panic creeping into his voice. "It's like it's angry." The lights flickered, and the ground trembled beneath them as if the planet itself was reacting to their communication. Shadows danced ominously at the edges of their vision, and the temperature in the room dropped. The once inviting sounds turned into a chorus of wails, echoing the fears hidden deep within their minds. "Shut it down. We need to stop this," Sarah yelled, adrenaline surging through her veins. But before they could react, a final surge of energy pulls through the lab, sending them sprawling to the ground. The monitors exploded with light, and the last thing Sarah saw was the image of Saturn, its beauty now transformed into something dark and menacing. In the aftermath, silence engulfed the lab. The team slowly regained their composure, hearts racing and minds reeling from the encounter. They had reached out to Saturn, only to awaken something far more complex and terrifying than they had anticipated. As they gathered their thoughts, they realized that the universe held mysteries beyond their comprehension. The journey had changed them forever, igniting a relentless pursuit of knowledge tempered by the understanding that some doors are better left unopened. Months later, NASA held a press conference to unveil their findings. The team shared their experience, emphasizing the importance of cautious exploration. The data collected from Saturn was released, sparking debates among scientists and enthusiasts alike. As new missions were planned, Sarah stood at the forefront of the efforts, advocating for a balance between curiosity and respect for the unknown. 3, 2, 1. Send. With a click, the signal burst forth into the ether, a beacon of human curiosity, piercing the vastness of space. As they waited for a response, an eerie silence enveloped the room. Felix shouted, panic creeping into his voice. "It's like it's angry." The lights flickered, and the ground trembled beneath them as if the planet itself was reacting to their communication. Shadows danced ominously at the edges of their vision, and the temperature in the room dropped. The once inviting sounds turned into a chorus of wails, echoing the fears hidden deep within their minds. "Shut it down.